The story starts with Daryl and Carol. They are walking in an empty place where people used to live. They move quietly, looking like ghosts in the silence. Suddenly, they realize they are in a trap. A large group of zombies is all around them. These zombies have been sitting there for many months without eating anything. Daryl and Carol see they have no place to run. They quickly make a plan. Daryl starts fighting the zombies with his weapons to keep them busy. This gives Carol enough time to try and open the door of an old abandoned building in front of them. Just as the zombies are about to grab them, the door opens. They jump inside and close the door at the very last moment, saving their lives. Once inside, they break the door of a flat and enter. In the living room, they see the person who used to live there. That person is now a zombie. They deal with him and then start walking around the house to see if they can find anything to use. They open closets and drawers. Suddenly, another zombie jumps out. Carol sees that Daryl is being attacked. She immediately picks up a weapon and moves forward to help him. But then, she is shocked because another zombie comes up right behind her back. Carol decides to kill the zombie behind her first. She grabs a fire extinguisher and uses it to freeze the zombie. On the other side, Daryl attacks the zombie trying to eat him. After killing all these zombies, the two friends look around to find a way out. They realize the whole building is full of zombies. They are surrounded on all sides. They have no other choice but to stay in that building for a few more days. They wait for the zombies to calm down and forget that they are there. Because there are many flats in the building, Daryl walks around to collect food and tools, but he does not find much. When they see that their food is almost finished, they decide to try their luck. They choose to leave the building early in the morning because the zombies outside are not going away. In the early hours of the morning, Daryl and Carol hear a strange voice coming from the balcony. They both get ready to fight. But as soon as they pull the curtain, a man named Julian is standing there. They are very surprised to see a living person. Julian tells them he is meeting someone else for the first time in many years. He thought every person in this area had already died. Julian has a rabbit that he hunted. He shares the food with them. Carol and Daryl try to convince Julian to go back to America with them. Julian agrees. He says he will meet them at the water, the GAT, at 10 a.m. The next day at 10 a.m., Julian rings the loud bell of a church. This makes all the zombies look toward the church and walk toward the sound. This helps Carol and Daryl get out of the building safely. The three of them reach a ship and start sailing in the sea. They begin their journey to America, hoping to start a new life. As the ship moves away from the land, the zombies on the shore look smaller and smaller. They know they must spend the next 2 weeks in the sea. A few days later at midnight, a terrible storm hits them. They try hard to save the ship. A strong wave hits Julian and hurts him. Carol sees that he is injured and runs to help. She takes care of him and treats his wound. Meanwhile, Daryl works hard to control the ship. Following Julian's instructions, they survive the storm. A few days later, they finally reach the shore. But when Carol sees Julian walking on the sand, she sees something shocking. Julian did not survive the journey. He died and turned into a zombie. As soon as he tries to attack Carol, Daryl jumps in the middle. Daryl attacks Julian and kills him with his sharp blade. Before they leave, Daryl puts Julian's body into the sea so the water can take him away. Now Carol and Daryl want to repair the ship so they can keep going to the main lake. But at night, Daryl sees some local people coming toward them. He quickly puts out the fire and hides behind rocks with Carol. He hopes the people will not see them. The local people do not see them, but they see the ship. They go inside and loot every single thing. The next morning, Daryl and Carol go looking for food. As they walk, they find a map. The map tells them the location of those local people. At that moment, they realize they are in Spain. This means they have come very far from their own country. Then Daryl sees a trap in the jungle with a zombie inside. This makes him understand that the local people have put traps all over the area. Because of the incident with the ship, Carol is injured. They decide to rest and stop at one place. The next morning, while Carol is sleeping, Daryl goes out to hunt. He sees some young men in a car. This makes him worry, so he returns to the camp. But when he gets back, Carol is missing. He searches a lot and finally finds her sitting near a lake. She is looking at some young men. She is moved by the romantic view. She tells Daryl that she couldn't stop herself from watching because those young men remind her of when she was young. After a while, the same bad men Daryl saw earlier appear. As soon as the young men by the lake see them, they try to hide in the water, but the bad men catch them. A young man named Roberto tries to save his girlfriend, but the bad men beat him very badly. They steal everything he has and are about to kill him. Daryl steps in and uses his arrows to kill those goons. At the same time, the driver of the goons' car arrives. Seeing his dead friends, he tries to run away. Daryl picks up a gun and runs after him, but he cannot catch him. A girl named Justina sees that the injured Carol is in bad shape. She offers them food. She convinces her lover to take Daryl and Carol to her village. Justina says her grandmother is a healer who can help, but she warns them that the people in her village are not very kind to strangers. When they reach the village, Justina meets an old friend. She asks her to open the door because she needs help for the Americans. As they walk through the village, Daryl and Carol see people looking at them with strange eyes. But then a man named Frederick finds out that these people saved his niece's life. He orders his men to put down their weapons. He meets them and says he is the chief of Solace Delmare. He says they can stay for 2 days, which is enough time for Carol to get better. Because Daryl saved his son Antonio's life, Frederick lets Daryl stay at his house. He also gives Daryl the tools he needs to fix the ship. The next day, a man named Guillermo Torres, who is the heir to a Spanish dynasty, travels through the city and gives gifts to the people. Daryl learns that every year these rulers come and choose a young girl to be sent to the leader. Daryl now understands why Roberto and Justina were running away. Anyone who says no to the ruler is killed. To choose the girls, Frederick tells his men to catch small pigs. Names are tied to the necks of the pigs. Then the pigs race. The girl whose name reaches the finish line first is chosen. At the end of the race, a girl named Alba finds out she has to leave. Justina is happy because she has 1 more year to live with Roberto. The whole city celebrates, except for Alba and her family, because they will be separated forever. At night, Frederick holds a big dinner for everyone. During dinner, Carol asks why Frederick agrees to give the girls away in exchange for weapons. The mayor says the girls go there for a better future, and losing them is a small price to pay for the safety of the village. While sitting at the table, Daryl sees the driver who escaped him earlier. He is in the village, and Guillermo's men are with him. Daryl gets up and follows him. He realizes these men are going to rob the mayor's loot. Daryl decides to act. He attacks the criminals and kills them with his sword. Finally, he pushes the driver into a cage full of zombies. He watches as the man is eaten alive, but Daryl does not know that these men were connected to Guillermo's army. When Guillermo finds out his men are missing, he sends a team to search the village. The next day, Daryl starts packing his things to continue his journey. Roberto offers to help him fix the ship. To find parts, Daryl takes Roberto with him. They meet a woman named Valentina. She has spent 30 years of her life sailing ships. She looks at the ship and says it needs a lot of work before it can go in the water. She says she will help if Daryl promises to take Roberto and Justina with him to America. Daryl has no other choice, so he says yes. He takes Roberto to a place where old ships are lying to collect parts. Suddenly, a zombie comes out of the sea and attacks. Daryl crushes its head. He then saves Roberto from other zombies that were hiding under the water. While Roberto is working on the ship, Justina finds out a secret. She learns that her uncle Frederick cheated every year so she would never be chosen. He removed Justina's name from the pig's neck and put another girl's name there. Justina feels very guilty. She wants to fix her uncle's mistake. She offers to go in Alba's place because Alba is very close to her mother. The next morning, Roberto gets home and sees that Justina has been taken away. He is very angry. He blames Daryl for losing Justina. He says it is because of Daryl and Carol that they came back to the village. Roberto leaves Spain. Now Daryl has to do everything alone. With Valentina's help, Daryl and Carol fix the ship in less than a week. Valentina tries to send a man named Cooper with them because he lived in California before. Daryl needs a helper for the long journey, so he agrees. But then things change. A group of rebels arrives. An arrow hits Cooper in the heart and he dies instantly. Daryl realizes his friends are in danger. He picks up a weapon to fight. Carol and Valentina help him. A large group of rebels reaches the doors of the village. When the mayor sees the attack, he gives weapons to the people. Doors are locked and people shoot from the walls. Frederick tells his men to let out the zombies they had captured. This gives the people time to fight. As soon as the bell rings, Daryl and Carol decide to go back into the city to make sure Roberto and his father are safe. Inside the city, they help the people. It is a sad scene. People have to kill their own family members because they have turned into zombies. Frederick is injured. Roberto runs to save Alba and her mother. Daryl warns everyone that the fight is not over. The enemy army leaves more zombies in the city. Fire spreads everywhere. People stand together to kill the zombies. While this is happening, more rebels enter the city to loot houses. Daryl helps get rid of both zombies and rebels. Roberto is tired and angry. He asks why no one came to help the village when it was attacked, even though they gave up girls for protection. Frederick says he did what he could. They catch one rebel alive. Frederick interrogates him. He finds out the rebels are attacking all alliances. At night, Roberto steals a jeep and leaves. His father, Antonio, follows him. Daryl and Carol go too because they know Roberto is looking for Justina. Frederick prepares for the future. He locks the captured enemies in a cage full of zombies. Everyone watches as they are eaten. They find Roberto being held by a gang. He is beaten and hanging from a bridge. Zombies are trying to reach him. Just as the gang is about to cut the rope, Daryl arrives and kills everyone. Daryl and Antonio's team fights the zombies. Antonio saves his son. Roberto is alive. He tells them he found Justina at Guillermo's camp, but she was caught again and taken away. Roberto is badly hurt and needs medical help. Carol helps Antonio return to the village. Daryl gets on his motorcycle to save Justina. On the way, he meets a sick man and leaves him. He sees a truck pulling a group of zombies. Men on motorcycles try to steal Daryl's bike. Daryl shoots a fuel tank, creating a big mess. He leaves his motorcycle and goes on foot. At night, a family gives Daryl shelter. He finds out their water was stolen by the gang that tried to take his bike. These people have a skin disease and are called limbo because they are between life and death. A woman named Maya says the disease doesn't spread by touch. A man named Mattia offers his car if Daryl gets the water back. Daryl uses Mattia's tribe to set a trap. They defeat the gang. Daryl has only 4 bullets, so he only shoots when he is sure. He kills the last man with a sword. He frees the zombies on the truck so they eat the bad people. Daryl and a man named Tafo fight zombies together. Then Daryl pushes Tafo into the water and shoots him so he doesn't return as a zombie. Daryl returns the water to the people and takes his motorcycle toward Barcelona. Daryl meets a warrior named Baz. She is following him to help save Justina. On the way, they stop at a village where women live to stay safe from the rulers. Baz meets her friend Laya. They plan to attack Guillermo's cars. Daryl finds where Justina and the girls are locked, but he cannot break the lock. During the fight, a grenade makes a hole in a wall, and zombies enter. Laya is killed. Daryl has to leave Justina there, as the girls are taken to Khazar. Daryl and Baz hide in a car and reach the palace. They wear masks. At night, the royal family has a dinner. They watch a puppet play about controlling zombies. The girls are brought out to be chosen for marriage. Justina is chosen at the end. Daryl runs to the stage and cuts the ropes of the puppet zombies. The zombies attack the rich people. In the chaos, Daryl grabs Justina. Baz finds her friend Helena, who kills Guillermo. Daryl saves Justina from her fiancé and releases the other girls. Daryl and Baz meet up. Baz goes to a refugee camp with the saved girls. Justina says goodbye and gets on the motorcycle with Daryl. They return to the lighthouse at Solace Delmare. But when they arrive, they find a fight. With Valentina's help, Daryl defeats the enemies. He finds out Frederick had caught Carol and accused her of treason. Antonio and Carol had tried to escape, but Roberto was in chains. Frederick let zombies loose on them. Daryl arrives and saves his friends. Justina tells the whole village the truth about her uncle. Frederick is put in jail, but Frederick's mother opens the jail door. Frederick goes after Daryl for revenge. He shoots at the boat as Daryl and Carol try to leave. No one is hit, but the boat catches fire. Their hope of going home is gone. The story ends as they watch their boat burn. See you soon in the next recap. Thanks for watching.